Hey, what's going on, guys? So I've been trying to make the Helltooth set work, and I think it can work pretty well. I've got a couple builds I've been working on. It's never going to be as good as the Jade Harvester or Zuni set, which is kind of how it is. Those two sets are just way too powerful for the Helltooth set to ever compete. With that said, I think there are a few builds that can do well, and this particular build is going to be using some legacy items to get your wall of zombies down to a 0 cooldown. So let me preface the video by saying this is a very high support build. Ideally, you would run this build in Tournament 5 or 6 with 3 other people with very high DPS, and you are the buffer, debuffer, and crowd control. Now the build does pretty decent damage. The damage is adequate, but it's not, it's not crazy damage like Jade Harvester. You're not one-shotting elite champion packs and things like that. So let's go over the gear real quick. So, like I said, we got 6-piece Helltooth. Wall of Zombies spews acid, dealing 300% weapon damage every second for its entire duration. So we've got the Helltooth shoulders, helmet, chest, pants, and boots, along with the Ring of Royal Grandeur. You get the 6-piece bonus. Now, ideally, in a perfect world, what I would like to have would be the gloves here, a Mask of Jerem, the regular legendary version, not this version. So the legendary version that gives you pet damage, and then a Star Metal Kukri as the weapon, and then I would run Fetish Army over Gargantuan, so that I have permanent Big Bad Voodoo Slam Dance for the most part for the party. But otherwise, the build's pretty much set in stone. So we've got 3-second reduction on this Stone of Jordan on Wall of Zombies, 3-second reduction on the Serpent, and then the 4-piece bonus gives you 2 seconds, which brings your Wall of Zombies down to a no cooldown, so you can just spam it as much as you want. As far as the rest of the gear goes, it's all pretty much standard otherwise. We've got this belt with Creeping Death, pretty much slowing everything by 80% all the time. And then Strong Arm Bracers. We're going to be running the Offensive Line rune on Wall of Zombies, which means you're giving 28% extra damage to your entire party with pretty much 100% uptime. It's close to it. You're pretty much going to be knocking things back all the time. So that's really, really good. That's one of my favorite things about the build right there. We got really high toughness just to survive in Torment 6 and things like that. As far as Paragon goes, get as much movement speed as you need, and then go int. Offense, you want a bunch of attack speed so that you can spam your Wall of Zombies as much as possible. And then I want crit chance, crit damage. Defense, armor, life, and then area damage, life on hit, resource cost reduction over here. The one thing too is the Thunder Fury does proc a good bit off of Wall of Zombies. As far as the build goes, let's go over it real quick. So the offensive line, Wall of Zombies. Now the way this works is if you cast a wall, like say I'm standing right here and I cast a wall right there, anything in between me and the wall will get knocked in front of the wall. So you can kind of just walk through and just continuously cast and continue to knock things back as you're walking, which is pretty cool. So like I said, Pestilence with the belt that slows by 80% along with Bad Medicine. So everything's slowed by 80% and it's dealing 20% less damage to your party. Big Bad Voodoo Slam Dance, pretty self-explanatory. I'm actually using Piranha's Wave of Mutilation. I wanted a Piranha's rune that did good damage and was off cooldown a lot and had a big radius. So you can kind of spam this thing and you're already slowing everything by 80%, so the cold Piranhas really aren't that good. And like I said, I wanted something that wasn't on a 16-second cooldown like Paranado is. So this is actually pretty cool, and plus I just like this ability. I kind of wanted to make it work in a build. So we got Spirit Walk Jaunt, and then the last slot is Gargantuan Wrathful Protector. I've been running it just for extra damage to the group. This could easily be like Paranoia for another 20% more damage to Elite and Champion packs. Could be a lot of different things. This is the slot I would play around with if you have the 0 cooldown Wall of Zombies gear. This could be a lot of different things. Like I said, if I had a Star Metal Kukri, this would be Fetish Army, without a doubt. So Creeping Death, for the reasons that I've already said, along with Bad Medicine. Grave Injustice to reset your cooldowns, and then Pierce the Veil for a little bit extra damage. If you're finding that you are dying or having issues at all, you could always run Jungle Fort here if you needed to, or even Spirit Vessel potentially. But yeah, that's the build. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Like I said, this is like a Torment 5 or 6 group build, but we'll just do some Torment 3 real quick just to show you how it works and how it looks in practice. But I don't run this build solo. So there's the slow. from the belt. So all these things are slowed by 80%, and they're dealing 20% less damage. So if I cast Wall of Zombies in front of these guys, in between me and them, they'll be knocked back, which means they're going to be affected by Strong Arm Bracers, which is giving a ton of extra damage to your party, and just crowd controlling them. So this pack right here, I can pretty much just set up into the wall right here and just leave them there. They can't do anything, pretty much. Just pretty much permanent crowd control on most mobs. And sometimes you're going to have issues with, say, ghosts or things like that. There's not much you can do about that. I mean, anything that can move, like outside of an area, like a ghost can kind of like go down here and like go through a wall and stuff and be kind of crazy like that. You can't do much about it, unfortunately. Go and gather all this stuff up. So like this guy right here, just constantly knocked back. Can't do anything. Hey, even got a legendary. What do we get? A spear. Probably garbage. Like, as you can see, I mean, it's not that slow. This is Torment 3. It's not crazy fast by any means, but it's not bad. Clears trash pretty quick. So you could definitely farm some solo if you really wanted to. You can kind of just walk through here and just continuously knock everything back. Cast a Wave of Mutilation here and there. And that's for the most part what you're going to be doing while you're walking through a rift with this build. You're going to be just continuously knocking things back like this as you're walking for the most part. Unless you get up to a wall, then you're just going to knock the enemies into the wall and just leave them there. Like that. But yeah, that's the build, guys. I hope you like it. I mean, it's I've been trying to theorycraft a few things with the Helltooth set. It's not the easiest thing in the world. I've got a couple other builds that don't use any legacy items that get Wall of Zombies down to like a 4-second cooldown or so. And are like mainly like poison builds, like with zombie bears and things like that. They can do pretty well. You can do like Torment 4 or 5 with them. I don't know if they're ever going to take you into Torment 6 or not. I don't know if they're going to be that powerful. Maybe with perfect gear you could do it, but it's going to get outclassed by Fetishes and Jade Harvester in their current states. But who knows? Maybe there'll be some buffing here and there, or some things may get changed around. We'll see. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And I just want to make sure to clarify one other thing too. You do have to have second reduction to get this down to a 0 cooldown. Second reduction always comes into play first, and then cooldown reduction. So you can't do something like get 6 seconds of second reduction on Wall of Zombies and then finish it off with cooldown. It just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So you do need legacy items to make this work. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.